Hello guys and welcome back to the Live Strong podcast. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who watched last week's episode, which was the first episode of season 3 here at the Live Strong podcast. So this is episode 2 of season 3. Crazy. And you would have seen by the title already of today's episode, she's a little bit controversial, but we are talking about why I hate 75 hard. Now, if you don't know what that is or what I'm talking about, you got to listen in because I'm going to rave on about it shortly. But let's start with my high and my low from this past week. Starting off with my high, if you haven't been following along on the gym journey at the moment, we are doing an 8-week running program because a group of us from the gym are running Hills Harbour, which is a 12-kilometre running event in Newcastle on the 29th of March. So she's coming up fast. And this week, this Sunday, so like only a few days ago, we ran 9 kilometers, which is huge. Everyone finds running different. Like some people find it really a lot easier than others. Some people have never ran ever in their life. So it's something that a lot of people are on different wavelengths about. Same with the, like gym training, but I find with gym training, people can be beginners and it's a lot easier to sort of quote unquote keep up with the class, but like you're doing a lighter weight, but everyone's sort of moving through together. Where running, you do sort of have to go on the journey on your own to some extent. So when we do running programs like this at the gym, everyone is on different wavelengths, which is what I love. And I love that everyone commits and supports each other. We wait for each other at the end. We encourage each other along the run when you're running past someone. Like it's a really great vibe. And so many of the girls who ran the 9 on Sunday, it was a PB run for them. Like they've never ran 9 kilometers before. So it's always just like a big sleigh. Add on to that, which I nearly forgot about, the Knights won their first game of the year, which if you don't know, I am a Knights supporter. I don't even know if I'm a Knights supporter. I just enjoy watching the football and I feel like you need to have a team you go for. It's sort of like a new thing in the past like 3 years. So, but they won their first game. It's like their first win since June last year, which is stupid. But that was a sleigh. Now, my low from the past week. I've been thinking, but I actually don't think there was a low from last week. Like I had a pretty good week last week in all aspects. So I guess we could just say I've been tired, but Dal, I've been tired for the past 7 years. So that can't really count, can it? Okay, guys, let's get into this conversation for today. And this is how I sort of want the podcast to go moving forward. I know I rambled last week, but I said I want to try and make these a little bit more to the point, a little bit more educational, and something that you guys can actually learn from. So that's what we're doing today. And we are debunking something that is super popular along so many people, and that is 75 hard. Now, 75 hard was, I think you would call it a program or a concept, and it was invented by someone. We don't need all the details really, the ins and outs, but it was invented by someone and they promoted this program. And essentially, originally the rules and regulations was like, train every day, not eat sugar, and that there was other things implemented like read a chapter of a book or meditate or blah, 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 blah. You get the gist, right? So there's sort of like a rule book and you have to stick to those rules for 75 days. Now that's sort of been like changed as time goes on and different people do it however they want and gyms sort of take on the concept as well. And people also do like 75 soft, they call that as well, when they're like not being as strict and blah, 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 blah. But essentially the aim of the game is to set some like rules and regulations for yourself and stick to it for 75 days. If we think of 75 days, that's like 2.5 months. So it's a little bit, what's that, 10 weeks in the end. So it is a long period of time to stick to something. But I think in the end, the goal that people try and to commit to when they do this is that they're going to be able to create these habits to last forever. They're like, I'm not going to drink alcohol, I'm not going to eat sugar, blah, 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 blah. And I think they go into their head that they're going to make some really positive changes in their life, but they don't know that they're literally just doing the all or nothing approach and they're just cutting out things that they probably enjoy doing and they probably have done for years and years and years on end, and they think that that's going to just instantly change in their life. Where, unfortunately, guys, habits don't change by restricting yourself. And no matter how much we bloody try to just be like, I'm just going to dead stop doing something, or I'm going to do this thing every single day, like, it just does not work like that. And I have seen this so many times with clients in my gym. I have never promoted anything like 75 hard. And every single challenge that we've done in the gym, there is never a concept that is like, you've got to be all in to get something out of it. I am definitely more of the approach that we need to be 80-90% in to get the most out of it, because shit happens in people's life. We need to be realistic. And even just like in a month, like think of how many things happen in a month that might change your plans, or you have a birthday, or a family member is ill, or whatever, that might change your focus for a day or something. The thing with 75 hard, it's like there's no days off, right? So I've seen this so many times that clients I've started 75 hard and I'm doing 10,000 steps a day. I'm going to train some form every day. Maybe it's not in the gym, but I'm going to run and I'm going to swim. I'm going to do all these things, and I'm going to count my calories, and I'm not going to drink alcohol, and I'm making sure that I read my book every day, whatever it is, okay? Even though they are healthy habits, I don't know anyone who's actually finished it and been able to sustain their results. And like, guys, it's the bloody yo-yo. It's the all or nothing approach, and it just doesn't work. And as I was sort of sitting down and thinking about this topic and like what I wanted to say to you guys, I couldn't really think of any examples where this going all in approach for 75 days would come out with a positive outcome, because I just know by so much experience with clients that no one can do something every single day without getting some form of guilt attached to that. And like, again, relating to experiences that I've had with clients, that, you know, people will do something like this and they literally will be getting an injury, or, you know, they're getting sick, but they're still doing the thing. Like, I can't miss a day because I'm doing 75 hard. And, you know, hopefully I can be a positive light, I guess, in these people's journeys and help change their perspective. But, you know, when shit happens, which shit does happen, like life is throwing curveballs at us all the time, that you know how to adapt and you know how to slow down when you need to. And you need to know that that's okay, because that's literally life. And not to mention that even if someone did stick to, you know, a strict rule book for 75 days, when 75 days is up, it's like, what next? Like, what happens on the 76th day? And for most people, if not, I would say like majority, nearly all people, it would lead them to slowly implementing the habits that they had taken out. So, you know, using alcohol as one, which is a big one that a lot of people commit to for 75 days. And I actually don't think there's anything bad with setting maybe a limit on yourself for alcohol, because I think it's something that a lot of people get pressured into drinking in times where maybe they don't want to, or, you know, it's in Australia or probably around the world, you know, it's such a social thing to just like have a drink, where, you know, there's probably instances where we don't need to be drinking, or you don't need to be drinking, or you don't want to be drinking, but you do it because of the pressure or society or the event, right? That is a whole different story, but I've gone down into the rabbit hole there, that haven't I? But what I was trying to say, you know, maybe you are going to set yourself, you know, some personal limits for yourself, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But people go, I'm not going to drink for 75 days, right? They're really committed, and you tell everyone, I'm doing 75 hard, I'm not drinking, you know, blah, 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 blah. The 76th day, it's likely that they're going to be drinking, and it's probably likely they've planned an event to drink, or they've planned to do the 75 days up to maybe, let's say, the 21st birthday, or their engagement party or something like that. So they're like, I'm going to look really good, and then I'm going to have this event, right? Then after they've had the event, or they've had that 76th day, most things just go out the bloody window. You know, they're tired, they're fatigued, they want to rest, they probably didn't enjoy it, they probably missed out on things, so they're not going to sustain those habits, and they haven't learned how to incorporate those habits into everyday life with balance. They've just learned how to be restrictive. So they then move forward just with the habits they used to have. Therefore, their body composition probably goes back to where it was. Their health probably goes back to where it was. And we're back at square one. You see what I mean? Like that yo-yo. It's like we're all in and then we're all out. We're all in, we're all out. And even if you're like halfway there sometimes, again, you probably haven't learnt the habits to have the balance. And I guess a little disclaimer here, sort of reverting back. I know my brain's going everywhere, but that's just like what's happening in there. Reverting back to saying that it's okay to maybe have a break from alcohol and maybe turning up the dial and stuff. You are allowed to turn up and turn down the intensity in your life in different factors. Like sometimes we're completely locked in the gym. You're like, I've got 8 weeks. I want to get strong. I want to hit this PB, blah, 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 blah. But everyone needs to learn that in that process, it's the saying of this episode, shit happens, and that is life. Because no matter if you're an elite athlete, if you're anyone, shit happens. Like let's use this as an example. If you follow football, you're going to follow along here. But one of our Knights players, Fletcher Sharp, right? He was become this big player. There's all this hype around him. He got injured at the end of last year. So he's been off, let's say, for 8-9 months, probably. Okay, I don't know exact. He had surgery, he's done rehab, he's built up his strength, and he's come back and he's played a trial game, and then he played his first game in Vegas as it's just happened on the weekend, right? He's done all these things to tickle the boxes, but in the first 20 minutes, he gets injured. He's done all the right things to get to that point, right? He's done the rehab, he's done the training, he's looking good, everyone's feeling very confident, he's got the hype about him, but shit happens, okay? That is life. And he couldn't be like, no, I've got to play this game because, whatever, it's the first game of the season, everyone's relying on me, blah, 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 blah. But unfortunately, shit happens sometimes and you have to pull back, you have to change the plan, you have to adapt, and then you create a new plan. So that can be in terms of you guys in the gym. Okay, we're building up for this event. That's him building up for this first game of the season. We're training, we're doing all the things. But what happens if, you do come across an injury or you are sick the week before the event? Well, sometimes we have to change the plan and that's okay. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because with something like 75 Hard, you don't learn how to adapt and you don't learn how to create balance in your life. You only learn how to be 100% dedicated to something with 100% restriction outside of the allowance. And it's going to lead to guilt and it's going to lead to failure. So I guess after my little rant here, guys, I know I've been ranting, but hopefully this has got my point across to you as to maybe why being super restricted and really, really disciplined maybe won't give you the outcome that you want. And even if very short term, it gives you satisfaction, in long term, it's probably going to end up putting you 50 steps behind where you started. And I'm not here saying don't commit to something, because that is definitely not what I'm trying to say. I want you to commit to your goals, and I want you to commit to doing the hard things and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and, saying no to things. You don't have to be doing exactly what you're doing now and then expecting results. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, you still do need to have discipline, and yes, you do need to be strict with yourself, but you also need to know that having a day off is okay. Having a meal outside of your plan is okay. Having a sleep in is okay. Having hiccups on the road is part of life. So you have to know that that is okay. And so maybe telling yourself that you're doing 75 hard, which is something that's 75 days back to back, and maybe if you miss a day is going to lead to guilt for you, well, maybe it's something that's not suitable for you. And maybe rather than that, maybe you just set some goals, some normal, realistic goals, And again, we should be doing things that are habits that are long term. So, okay, I'm going to set the goal to train 3 times a week. If I train 3 times a week for the next few weeks, and I'm like, I think I can up it to 4, we set our goal to 4, And then knowing in that phase, you know what I'm going to say? Shit happens. And you know what? You might have to have an extra rest day. Are you going to die from it? No. Will you probably get better results? Yes. Yes, you will. Anyway, guys, I hope that this has maybe given you a bit of food for thought, and know that at Live Strong, we definitely try and do things properly. Like, I try and set all my clients up for success in lots of different ways, shapes, and forms in their life, and hopefully they feel that support on their end as well. We run challenges, and yeah, there's a big stigma behind challenges as they are, but I've worked really hard over the past 8-9 years to develop a challenge that is accessible to lots of people with lots of different goals and at lots of different stages of life. And I do believe at the end of last year, the challenge we ran was probably the closest I got to where I want that to be, because you won't believe how hard it is to come up with a challenge. But also, like, challenges can only do so much when you've got an idea, a concept, education, but going to the masses. Like, our challenges hold 80-ish people usually. So, everyone is different. So if you do want real results, you want real change, and you want to do it properly, you want to learn along the way, maybe you've got some other factors in your life that, we need to work with, whatever that is, you probably need one-on-one support. And not saying that in a rude way or anything, that's literally every single person. You probably need one-on-one help, whether that's a dietitian, a nutritionist, a psychologist, a PT, whatever it is. If you've got specific goals, specific timelines, maybe some specific health concerns, injuries, conditions, whatever it is, then maybe you need that one-on-one support, and maybe a 75 hard ain't going to do it. Maybe a gym challenge ain't going to do it. Maybe you just need one-on-one guidance from professionals in those fields. Something for food for thought, which I'm a big advocate for. So hopefully you've learned something in this episode. Honestly, have I just raved on? Don't know, but it's something I wanted to talk about because, you know what, it gives me the fucking shit sometimes when I see people promoting this, or being like, oh my God, look at me, I've done all these things every single day. I'm sorry to tell you that more times than not, I'm not impressed, because I know where it leads most people. So, good on you for dedicating yourself to something, but just know that real results take time, and 75 hard my ass, Anyway, bye people. Join in next week. Like, subscribe, comment, engage, so other people can watch me rant. Woo!